So, generative AI. It's everywhere, right? And it is moving so fast. Honestly, it can feel a little bit like magic. But what if you could actually understand the trick? Well, today, we are pulling back that curtain to show you exactly how this incredible technology really works.
You hear it all the time, right? AI is the future. AI is going to change everything. But to really get a grip on its power and, yeah, its risks, we have to ask a much simpler question. How does it actually work? And that is the question we're going to dig into today.
Okay, first things first. AI isn't some futuristic sci-fi idea. It is already here. I mean, it's baked into the stuff we use every single day, often in ways you probably don't even realize. At its very core, what AI is all about is trying to build systems that can think, learn, and solve problems kind of like we do. And we're not just talking about crunching numbers here. This is about perception, about reasoning, even about making judgment calls. Just think about your day so far. Did your email automatically catch all that junk mail? That's AI. Did your favorite streaming service recommend a show you actually ended up loving? Yep, AI again. From the fraud detection that keeps your credit card safe to the insane systems guiding self-driving cars, it is working behind the scenes all the time. So if we want to get official about it, the dictionary definition really boils down to this: building computer systems that can do things we normally associate with a human brain. You know, skills like seeing and understanding an image, getting what someone is saying, or making a tough decision. That right there is the foundation for everything we're about to get into. Okay, so how does the machine actually think? What is really going on inside that digital brain of its? Well, the secret sauce is something called foundation models. So let's go ahead and peek behind that curtain. These foundation models are these massive, pre-trained systems that are basically the engine for almost all the generative AI tools we're hearing about. Think of them as the versatile starting point, the foundation from which all these other cool AI apps are built. Now, the most famous type of foundation model is the large language model, or LLM. And when we say large, we mean it's been trained on a truly mind-bending amount of text, like a huge chunk of the internet, books, articles, you name it. But after all that training, its main skill is, believe it or not, surprisingly simple. It just gets really, really good at predicting the next word in a sentence.
It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? Take a look at this sentence. The cat sat on the... Your brain, my brain, we just instantly fill in that blank. An LLM does pretty much the same thing, just with a whole lot of sophisticated math. And this is where it gets really interesting. See, the AI isn't just making one wild guess. It's actually calculating the odds for all the possible words that could come next. It knows that Matt is the most likely, at 40%. But it also knows that table and chair are pretty good options. And moon? Well, that's what we might call a creative choice. It's possible, just not very probable. But AI isn't just about words, right? For images, we have something called diffusion models. Here's a cool way to think about it. Imagine a sculptor who starts with a raw block of stone. A diffusion model starts with a screen of random digital noise, kind of like old TV static. And then, guided by your prompt, it slowly starts to chisel away at that chaos to reveal a clear, detailed image. And here is what that process actually creates. Would you believe that this incredible piece of art started as nothing more than digital static? The AI then just refined it, step by meticulous step, until this image emerged. It's an amazing transformation from total chaos to perfect coherence. The power here is just undeniable. But this brings up a really critical question. With all this amazing ability to just create things out of thin air, can we, and should we, always trust what these models are telling us?
And that brings us to the real challenge of working with AI. You have to understand the balance. The potential for creativity, for analysis, it's enormous. But the pitfalls are very, very real. AI can hallucinate, which is a nice way of saying it just makes things up, and it does it very confidently. It can also pick up the biases from all the human text it was trained on. And it has a knowledge cutoff. It's basically frozen in time, with no idea what happened yesterday.
But look, knowing these limitations isn't a reason to just give up on AI. Actually, it's the key to learning how to work with the machine in a smarter way. So let's talk about how you can actually guide an AI to get much better, more reliable results.
One of the best techniques out there is called prompt chaining. The idea is, instead of giving the AI one giant, complicated task, you break it down into a series of smaller, logical steps. The answer you get from step 1 helps you ask the question for step 2, and so on. You're basically guiding the AI down a path, one step at a time, to a much more accurate final answer.
And think of it like this. A really complex journey is never just one giant leap, right? It's a series of smaller, connected steps. By walking the AI through each of these steps, you keep it on the right track, you stay in control, and you end up with a way better result. So far, we've talked about AI that generates stuff, text, images. But the next big frontier is AI that actually takes action. And this is where we start talking about AI agents.
Now, an AI agent is so much more than a chatbot. It is a goal-oriented system. You give it an objective, and it uses its AI brain, plus other software tools, to create and then execute a plan to get that thing done in the real world.
So for example, imagine telling an agent, onboard our new hire. It wouldn't just write a nice welcome email. No, it would actually go into the HR system and create an email address. Then it would send a request to IT for a laptop, and then it would check everyone's calendars and schedule orientation meetings. All of it, automatically. It's a huge leap from just conversation to actual execution.
This level of power and automation brings us to our final and maybe our most important section. Because with a tool this powerful comes great responsibility. And using AI ethically, well, it's not just a nice idea. It is an absolute necessity.
Building AI that we can actually trust has to start with a rock-solid, secure foundation to prevent misuse. And from there, we have to constantly balance these key principles, making sure it's fair, that its decisions are transparent, and that we are fiercely protecting user privacy.
These right here are the non-negotiables. Strong security, so it can't be misused. Transparency, so we know how it's making decisions. Privacy, to protect people's data. Accountability, so someone is always responsible. And of course, legal compliance. Without these, we can't build the lasting trust we need for this technology to really help us all.
Which brings us to our final thought. We are, right now, building one of the most powerful tools humanity has ever created. We've seen a little bit of how it works, what it can do, and the massive responsibility that comes with it. The question is no longer if AI is coming. It's here. The real question is, are we ready for it?